and thank you for logging into my channel, Keeper of Hearts. I really do appreciate you taking time in your busy day to listen to me, and I really do appreciate it. I just want today to talk to you about suffering. I know it's not a nice subject to speak about or topic, but it is a reality in our life. And you know, I hear so many people blaming God for all the suffering that's happening in the world today. And for a long time, well, an extended time, I actually used to think when I was younger that, yeah, God is sometimes to blame. But you know what? The fact is I've learned otherwise. You know, I've learned that God is a real true gentleman, and nothing evil or the things that you see happening in this world today comes from God. And I know that it can make people confused and angry and bitter, and when we allow ourselves to really think about all the things that you go through in life, then it's easy then to think, oh, God's not involved or He's causing this. But you know, the truth is God doesn't allow anything or doesn't cause anything that is bad and evil. Never, ever. It doesn't come from God at all. And I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that think the same way and wonder, well, where is God then? If He's not doing anything to help the suffering, then where is He? Well, let me just tell you something. Most of the suffering that is caused today is from a human intervention. Yes, it's our own choices we make in life. A lot of it. Not all of it, a lot of it. And sometimes God does see the suffering and sometimes He does allow it, but He's never ever the cause of it. It's taken me a long time to realize this. God is truly who He says He is. He is a God of love. There's no question about it. He's a true gentleman. And if you read the word, you'll see clearly that God is, without a doubt, a God of love. Never will He ever cause something to hurt the very thing that He loves the most, and that is mankind. But He's also a gentleman. And you know, He clearly does not impose Himself on anyone. We need to remember that God has given His children free will. And that is a gift. People, really, it's a free will is a gift. And free will comes with responsibilities. And our actions. Because many times, it is our actions that bring about suffering. Wars are human made, not God made. They are cause of suffering, and it comes from other sources. It could be unforeseen circumstances, which the Bible, the Word of God, tells you clearly that unforeseen circumstances befall all of us, on the righteous and the righteous. That is just the way it is, because we are living in an imperfect world, a fallen world. We are to remember who is the prince of this world. It's not Jesus, it's the devil. He still actually owns this world, and up until the time of Christ, we're going to have suffering, and we're going to have it to an abundance. It's actually going to get worse. You know, like I said, God tells you in the Bible that there is unforeseen circumstances that happen, and they befall all of us. Whether you're a Christian or not, it makes no difference. Whether you're righteous or unrighteous, we need to remember that we really do have an enemy as well. And that enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. And he will stop at nothing to get to you. And he'll even try and get you to believe that either God does not exist, or that if He did, He would be an evil God. Well, let me tell you, the word clearly states that it is unthinkable for the God, the true God, yes, our true God, to act wickedly, for the Almighty to do wrong. And Job was a faithful servant of God, and he went through so much, and God was aware of it, and He allowed it. But there was a reason why. So we're so quick to blame God for everything in this life. We need to remember that the real ruler of this fallen world, and his name is Satan, the devil. I don't care whether you believe in him or not. I'm telling you, he's real. I've seen it in my life. When my husband lost his hand, that wasn't from God. That was clearly from Satan. God won't, God's word tells us clearly that the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. And that's in 1 John 5:19. We also need to remember that we are imperfect, and until we are made perfect one day, to be with Christ up in the skies, we will go through suffering. We will go through tribulation. And we will find it difficult. But you must remember, we do have the Holy Spirit. And that is Jesus living on the inside of us. And to know that, it's comforting to know that. It's really comforting to know that. And it's also what actually makes me very comfortable, is that I know that suffering never comes from God. He's not responsible for wars, the crimes, the oppression, or even the natural disasters we see. And you can go look that up in 1 John 4:8. We need to remember that we are humans and that we were created with a free will, and it's a precious gift. I mean, can you imagine? Would you be happy if you were programmed like a robot? Okay, then we'd do exactly as God wanted us to do, but it wouldn't have been of our own choosing, and that's why we got free will. God gave us the freedom of choice, and what kind of a person does that make God? A wonderful, caring, loving God, because then we're able to make friendships of our own choosing and to form them, and then we have that freedom that comes with it. So it says something about God, doesn't it? Because He wants us to enjoy our lives. He really does. And I think the question rather is, how will you use your free will today? You can either use it for the good or the bad. So people, I choose to believe that God is an amazing, good God. And that whatever we're going through, He's still on the inside of us, and He will help us. Hope you all have an awesome day. God bless. Ciao, ciao.